Aman, Amardeep, you are presenting today?
Yes, sir, I can do.
Awesome. Thank you.
I couldn't recap it, but I will try. Thank you, sir.
I think already 4 minutes we can start actually.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Are you able to see?
No.
No.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. So today I will try to explain this cloud code um, 101 from the skill jars. So basically, as part of this course, uh, Cloud Code 101, basically in this course, they have explained what it is, the cloud code, and how it is different from the chat-based AI tools. They have explained about the different options for the installations and like on terminal, VS Code, and other ID and other options. Um, they have explained like how we can use it in our development workflows, and also they have talked about how we can deal with the prompts and other stuff. Basically, what we want to do about AI in our development workflow effectively, how we can do that. So, what is cloud code? So, cloud code is an agentic coding tool. It understands your code base. It can edit your files. It can run your command and integrate. It can integrate as well with external systems. So basically, its purpose is to make the developers' life easy, making the development much faster. So that is what they have explained in this summary of it. So basically, what separates cloud from the cloud code from the cloud. So the one of the main differences in cloud code in cloud AI, which we covered in previous sessions. So the difference is you don't need to go to the files back and forth manually. Cloud code will deal with them automatically. It doesn't need your intervention. It can just directly access those files on your system, unlike cloud AI. So that is the difference they have mentioned here. And also, like, it's an agent here. The cloud code is basically your assistant. It's a assistant for you. So it's an agent, AI agent. On cloud AI, we used to do the chat. We used to ask it, and it was producing the response. That's what cloud AI we covered earlier. But cloud code is an agent, a coding assist. So what is an agent? Um, so agent is basically it interacts uh, with the environment. Environment means it interacts with the models and the context what you are providing it, your code base, or whatever basic you are dealing with it will interact and it will help you. And what is the purpose? It has a defined goal, And so basically an AI agent is a software that can interact with its environment and perform action to complete a defined goal. So how it does, it has large language model, and it operates like in real time with that large language model. So that is the main, or we can say the core of it. AI agents can have access to tools, external services, or even other AI agents to help their code. So we will explain that further, but here just to summarize, like tools, for example, to read files, to execute a command. So those kind of tools they can access. External services, maybe the web, they can interact, the web search, and even other AI agents as sub agents they can use. So what can cloud code actually do? So what it can do is it can read and understand your code base, explain a feature or trace a bug. So that kind of stuff it can do. It can analyze you. You can ask. You can uh, uh, give your code base as a context to it, and you can ask something. Okay, find a bug, or this bug is raised. Can you give a solution around it, or something like that? You can achieve with this cloud code. It can edit your files. For example, you want to refactor a function in your code file, it can do that, edit it, and it can update it. So it can modify your function, it can update your code files. It can run the terminal commands. So, for example, you have some build script, you have you want to run your tasks. For example, you run your tests, right? When you build your Maven, and especially for the Java projects, you have those tests run there, right? So you can it can run that for you, and it can install the packages, any dependency. So that kind of stuff it can do on the terminal command. So this is a terminal tool it is using here, and this is the edit tool it is using here. Search the web. So it can search the web for documentation or any API references, which is helpful to your code, or which you want to explore. It will do for you to assist you with detail. Using code cloud effectively. So there are three concepts. Uh, Basically, the context window. So it's nothing but we can say it's a cloud's working memory. It can hold a lot, but not everything at once. So that is one very uh, uh, the line in depth basically. So what they are indicating, okay, there is a context window. uh, it will hold too much memory for you, too much context for you, but avoid putting everything. I mean, it cannot hold everything. Okay, so we need to have some best practices, or some how to use effectively. So that kind of best practices we should use, and because there is limitation on context window, otherwise there will be consequences like hallucination, false positive, that kind of outputs these cloud code will be producing, or any other AI assist will be doing the same thing. So there is another line here which is pretty interesting. It is where is that? Du- 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 du. This is where agentic aspect comes in. Okay, so this is, it says like cloud finds strategic ways to locate answers within your code base without loading the entire thing into the context. So what it is saying is, if we have a very refined context, very we are providing the context very refined way, then or in a strategic way it is having, then we can have better output. That is what they are indicating in this line. So first one was the context window. The second is it asks for permission. So when it is acting, there are different modes on around the permission. So like we have this by default. So by default, it will ask the permission for everything, for making the changes basically. If there are some changes and it wants to play, it will ask your permission, whether it is editing a file or running a command, it will ask that. So that is the default permission mode it has. It has three, so that will come further in the course. And default mode is basically you are in the control, not the AI. AI will suggest, but you are in control to give the permissions. So that is what it is. And the third one is it can always make mistakes. So just like any tool, cloud code is imperfect. It might misunderstood your intent, introduce a bug, or every engineer solution or over engineer solution. So you are asking for a solution, but it is giving you too many fancy things around the solution. So that is what it is. So it can do over engineering as well. So that is what covered in this chapter. um, the next is how cloud code work. So here it is in this they have explained internally, or effectively how it works. So there is an important thing. This is one of the most important thing in this course, Cloud Code 101. So this agentic loop. So cloud code is best explained through the agentic loop. So what it is basically, as a user, you give the prompt to the cloud code to achieve something. Cloud code gathers the context it needs by interacting with the model, which returns text or tool call, okay, which cloud code can execute. So there is an indication, and it is mentioned somewhere else as well. So the model, it never executes anything, or it never executes commands, or edit file or something. It's the cloud code agent or any AI assist tool. So basically, how they have explained the agent, the assist will send something to model. Do you want to read this file, or do you want to do you want to have it edited or something like that? They will send model, and then model will provide, okay, yeah, I want it. Then the assist will do that activity. So that is what it is, I think here, which returns the text or tool call that cloud code can execute. So model doesn't do it itself, it is the cloud code assist or any other code assist tool. It takes action, for example, editing file and running the command. It verifies the results and determines whether they achieve what your prompt set to do. Okay, so it verifies as well, and if that is verified and all good, then it just finishes the task. I mean, whatever is given to achieve, and it will wait for the next prompt from you. If it doesn't, then it goes back in the loop and tries again until the results are very complete and verifiable. So that is what a loop means here. So throughout this loop, you can add context, interrupt, or steer the model to help guide it towards your goal. So here is the diagram they have explained here. You are putting the prompt, and they have this agentic loop having the gather the context. The first point above they have mentioned, take the action, verify results, and repeat. If it hasn't achieved as per the prompt, it will repeat it. And meanwhile, you can interrupt, you can steer, you can guide the agent, and also add the context. That's what you can do there. And if everything is smooth, then it is done. So, first one is the agentic loop. They have mentioned the second is the context. So, Cloud Course has a context window. So, context window is nothing. It is more of how much of your conversation is there, how much is the file contents, commands output, more it can store and reference. That is your context window. So there is a limit there as well of for the context window. When it reaches, the cloud code can compact your conversation and automatically determining what it can remove and summarize to bring the context window back to the usable size. So uh, cloud code can compact it, and also it can uh, uh, store the summary of that compaction as well. So that will be further in the course. So that is what it can do. So this is an important point. And the user can also do this manually, the compaction. Now the second part is the third one is the tools. Tools are the backbone of how agents work. So what it is basically, so tools let cloud determine when, this line is important, tools let cloud determine when to execute code to get closer to complete a task. Okay, so what the tool does, then they can read the file. There are file reading tools, there are web search tools to search on the web, there are terminal tools which can run the command on terminals. So there are so many tools there available which uh, cloud code can use. And cloud code uses semantic understanding to determine when to call a tool, how and how to use the output. So it has a semantic understanding about that. This is another important point here about the permissions. So it's not like we ask agent to do something and leave entire thing to it. So that is how we should not perceive the AI, to accomplish some tasks via AI. So that's why there are permissions, like the default behavior, as I told just before few minutes. So default is like for anything, whether to edit a file or run a shell command or on terminal command, it will always ask your permission. So that is the default behavior. The next one is auto accept. Auto accept means it can edit your file, but it cannot run the commands on command shell or terminal. It cannot do that, but it can edit. So that it auto accept. The third and most important is plan, and this is kind of one of the best practice as well. The plan mode. So basically, when you do the prompt, it will do everything in read only mode, and it will compile a plan for you. And based on that, if you like that plan, you can proceed, and it will act accordingly. Whatever the consent you are doing to it, whether approve or not approve. So here it has mentioned that this command requires approval. So this kind of behavior it has shown, they have shown in this screenshot. It can be configured in the setting files, and the default behavior, the permissions, and also you can do that via shift tab while you are working on this cloud code terminal. So they have given cautions there that be cautious when skipping permissions. Giving cloud code free rein to run commands means a mistake could be harder to reach before it happens. So it can cause chaos if you are not careful about the permissions. So that's what they have mentioned. Any question?
No, no, it's going good actually. In fact,
Okay,
we I use this one. Yeah.
okay. So next is installing Cloud Code. So I don't need to go to everything, but I can just mention what it is basically. So there are different options to work around the Cloud Code, and you can install them in different ways. And different installations have different interfaces to interact with. So one is the terminal. So you can do that on Mac OS, Linux, or WSL. There is Windows as well. And so for Cloud Code, first of the thing, you need a subscription to work around it. Okay. So you can install these, but to work, you need subscription. So for terminal, you can do, there is, if you want to prefer homebrew, you can also use this brew command here. So the steps are mentioned on every individual pages. I guess they have for installation, different installations type. For Windows, you can use the PowerShell, and you can do this invoke REST method command there, and it will install the terminal there. And after installation, you can just you can use the cloud command there to verify whether it is installed, or there's the other stuff. And this is how the terminal will look, like in window PowerShell. This is the terminal you look. Next is the IDEs. So be it Visual Studio ID, you can use the extensions from here. You can find the extension and you can install. Again, you will need the subscription for that. You have JetBrains or IntelliJ. You can install like this as a plugins from Marketplace. There is a desktop version as well. So this is how the desktop will look. And there is a web. Now this is important, when to use which one. So the most uh, uh, um, the mostly used mode is the terminal. So it is like features shifts there first. I couldn't grasp it much, but the terminal is used mostly. After that is the ID integration, and I think it is, and they have mentioned is near identical to terminal. So I guess what I have seen around me, most of the developers, side folks, they like everything in IDE. So be it Visual Studio or the IntelliJ, they use that there.
Yeah, but
So
we
yeah,
use mostly the terminal for cloud code.
yeah, yeah. So there may be pros and cons not mentioned here, but certainly these two modes are like, if you are a developer, choose either of them. So ID is basically, it is very near to your code. It directly side by side your code. So that is what the benefit of the ID integrations. Next is the desktop. Desktop is basically, if you want to do multitasking, it will run in the background while you handle other tasks. And the cloud code on the web is basically the most loved feature about it is, it you can work remotely. So you are not machine dependent. You can just log in and remotely anywhere you can work, and it has a uh, uh, it is on the GitHub repository integration. So anywhere you can work remotely. Okay. Next is the prompt. We have covered prompt earlier as well, what prompt is, and what is the how we should use it. Like we have to have a objective mentioned in that, what it will be doing, what is the role, and then what instructions. So that kind of thing we covered in our last um, session. Now, if we go through it again, just give me a moment. Yeah. So, so that was what we covered. What is the prompt and how you should write the prompt earlier. Now they have mentioned here the auto accept and approval uh, mode while you are doing the prompt. So when entering your prompt, um, here are some things to consider that can both protect you and make things easier. So auto accept versus approval. That is what they mentioned here. So this we just covered few minutes back as well. So you will connect the dot when I go. So auto accept is every file change. Okay, so it's like you can choose whether cloud code auto accept every file change it suggests. Okay, we discussed the default mode and auto accept, right? And the third one there. So this is what. So if you want the cloud code to do the change, then you can use auto accept while you are doing prompting. So you can do the auto accept there, and or other mode you can use when you want to give explicit permission to that, and you can switch them with shift tab. Shift plus tab you can do, and it will be doing that there, and it will mark on the terminal that this is in this mode. Okay, it will be showing that on the terminal too when you are doing shift tab. In ID, I think there are drop down below the chat area, and you can select what type of mode you can do, but I don't know, but that is my guess because in Copilot we have different modes to choose below the chat. And also I think shift tab should be working there. And so approval mode, cloud asks permission each time it wants to edit a file or run a command. And auto accept is only files it can do without your approval, means automatically it is approved, but the command it will ask your permission. And this is the plan mode, the third one and the most important. So the plan mode, as I explained, so shift tab you can do. If you see here, plan mode is on. After they did the shift tab, it is showing plan mode on here on this screenshot. So plan mode takes your prompt and use read only tools to analyze your code base and research your suggested implementation. And while it is doing that, it can ask, it will ask questions to be clarified. They have mentioned here it will ask clarifying questions along the way, then return a detailed plan it can execute. So plan mode is great for when there are like complex changes you need to do, you want to do, or doing a specific code review. So that is what uh, the plan mode is, at least um, uh, we should use. So they have mentioned an example here. So if you see, they have used shift tab to switch to the mode after cloud. They will launch the cloud on terminal. Then they are using shift tab to switch the mode to plan mode. They are giving this prompt there. My app needs a dark mode implementation across the entire app. Can you create a toggle switch on the header that allows a user to toggle between light mode and dark mode? I need you to find a good contrast color that works based on my existing light theme. So they want to put a toggle. Okay, they want to change a code to put a toggle to toggle between the light and dark theme on the existing application. And Cloud has access to the code base, and they want to achieve it. So they are just giving the prompt here. They are not asking for plan or something here, but by doing the shift tab, they are doing the plan mode here, and then it is giving a plan. and then it will ask for the approval. So let the cloud plan out. After reviewing the plan, if it looks good, accept it, and let cloud ask you for approval at each step. So you can do that, but the point is here, you should uh, avoid asking the AI agent to directly change your file. Ask it to create a plan for it, and then you can execute that plan by giving the auto approval, or uh, the auto accept mode, whatever you want. So it will be accordingly uh, asking the permissions there. This is also most important point here. So basically, as I mentioned, this course is around how daily development workflow you should work with Cloud Code. So this is what they meant: the explore, plan, code, commit workflow. So this is the uh, journey of the task which you should follow. So let me. So what it is? You know, when you are doing the development, how you work, right? You do the code changes, you do the commit, push, and you created the comments as well for PR. So that kind of workflow you use in your daily dev thing. Now you want this thing to be done by uh, the AI assist agent, or the cloud code agent. So that's how they are mentioning here. So the explore, plan, code, commit workflow. So they say you do this one, you plan this, and don't ask directly to jump for the write the code. Don't ask them. Ask the AI agent to directly write the code for your task. You go this way.
Yeah, and
So what
also that
is
consumes less number of what is that, tokens, plan mode.
yeah. So and it will do the different tasks there actually. So that is another, because it's a workflow. It has different tasks, right? So that's it. What it will be doing one by one. So explore and plan. What it is basically. So as plan is there, so it has to be in plan mode. Okay. So you need to use the plan mode, and cloud cannot edit file. Okay, just read the file, gather the information. So that is the motive of plan mode, right? That we are just planning, we are not editing any file at this stage. So explore and plan is about the planning, in planning mode, where no file should be added. It's just gathering the information about it. Just reads the file to gather the information, how it tackle the implementation. So basically it is gathering the context, and laying down a plan. So that's what it is. Creating a plan, that's what it will do. And again, the plan mode, you can do shift plus tab until you see the plan mode. So here is the plan mode. After that shift tab, they are mentioned. They are giving a prompt here. So it will read the relevant files, some web searches. It will create a plan for you. You review it, decide if it meets your criteria. Okay, so that is what you have to do, and you should do, you must do. If it is not, then ask it to revise specific areas. So like it is what it has done. You asked something, it created a plan here. It detailed out what it did, and this is the step. The step, this step is the time or the place where you can correct the things before it goes to chaos. Okay, the plan mode helps with that. You plan it correctly, and plan it in the way so that the AI agent can work in correct manner. So this is the point. You should be very careful, and you should um, do the foundation in correct way. For that also, I mean, for this step, you can do some sub agents as well, like maybe the code review agent or something that you can do, and the benefit will be like uh, that will be running in different contexts. The sub agents never take the context from the parent agent. So that will be, I think that is what they are trying to explain. You can also run the explore sub agent without being in a plan mode. Okay. If you just want a general summary of your code base without intending to make changes afterward. Okay, so sub agent will run in its own context, and it will give you some survey, some summary of the changes or something which you can take care of later after you execute this one and correct the thing. That is, I think, what it means. So in the workflow, there is next step is the code. Okay, so once the plan is there, uh, you need to write the code. You need to make the changes. Okay, so you select approve and accept it. To accept it, you can choose whether cloud accept files edit or ask you each time. Okay, that mode you can do there. And this is I think this is important para here. Cloud will do its best to troubleshoot before considering the plan finished. Okay, but at times you will need to step in. This is the benefit of working with plan mode. After execution, you also have the context of how you go to the results, which helps guide Cloud's next decision. So suppose you have created, you want to work on a feature, you created a plan, you executed it. So whatever you have done so far, till after even after the execution, that context have been made for the cloud, so that consecutively, if something you want to do, that context will be put in context window for the next, if you want to do something. They have mentioned some tips here. So like define a success criteria. So basically you need to set up expectation uh, clear on what correct looks like. So if some you have asked something to be done by to cloud code, but you need to tell uh, what I will consider as a correct, which you will be producing. So you need to mention that. So make it explicit while you are writing a plan, when writing a plan. So uh, you can do that in that planning mode. Add tools. This is also important. So remove a lot of back and forth kind of stuff there. So tools that help cloud completes its goal, remove a lot of back and forth. Okay, for example, suppose you haven't mentioned some tool there which is required to accomplish task, then cloud will be troubling you, asking you will be asking you something again and again and again. It's better you do that before. Okay, so for example, if you are building a web UI, install the cloud in Chrome extension. So code can control a browser tab and test the UI directly. Otherwise, it will be troubling you, that I want this, I need this permission or something, like it will be bothering you, and it's better to do the tooling before. Include a test suite. So it can be a source of truth, like what is the um, correct output, um, should be what should be the correct output or something, that to validate that, include a test suite. Okay, given cloud a test suite, it can continuously validate against. Okay, so it will have to validate the output. Okay, this is what I expected, or something, so that you can do. And we do that, right? We like, for example, if we are developing some code, maybe microservices, we have the test cases, right? So that can be part of context, and it can do that validation. So I think that is what it means. CloudCon can even write the test for you before handing this off. Make sure the tests are reliable source of truth to avoid false positive. Okay, so I think what they are implicating, the validation is that the source of truth can be the test cases. For example, if you are working on developing some microservices, or some other code, you can write the unit test cases. You can ask it to write the test cases for you, but you need to put a glance like, okay, whatever it has written, it has done the proper coverage, or or have covered the scenario. So that kind of I think the implications are here. So there is a tip they have mentioned: if you find cloud keep running into same issues, ask it to save the solution in cloud md files. We discussed this cloud md file last time. So this is nothing but it's a memory for our cloud code, and it is always in action whenever you are on the chat. Okay, whenever the cloud code loads up, it's always there. Okay, it never stops. Whether you are typing a line of code, it will be checked upon. Okay, it will be checked against. So this is that memory. And if you remember, we talked about the compaction of the context, right? And summarizing that context to when the size reaches, the cloud code compacts the context and summarize, some do the summary as well. So that also can be stored in cloud md. Okay, uh, I think that is further in this course as well. The next in the workflow is the commit. So once everything is done, you need to push your code to repo, right? So that is what it is. So it is pushing your code. Uh, Also, before you commit, you can run a sub agent. Okay, and what is the benefit of this is important actually. So before you commit, run a sub agent code review to look at your work. So the important in this line is the sub agent. Okay, and the code review. Okay, these two things are really important. So sub agent, why they are taking the sub agent, why didn't they cover in the previous agent, is because the sub agent will be running in different context. It doesn't have any bias from the previous context of the main agent of the parent agent. Otherwise it may create wrong output, right? So it will take a fresh context of your code, and it will do the code review properly, and it will do that without the context or bias which may have been there in the parent agent execution. So that is the one of the best practice, and it is the code review. Basically, if you are pushing a code, this is the most important activity, right? Most important activity by the sub agent, which will be uh, doing it independently of the main agent. So that is what this line is most important for. So a sub-agent gets a fresh pair of eyes on the code base. It doesn't carry the bias and main agent might have from the bias the main agent might have from the session. Okay, so it will do the job clean. If your sub-agent is really good at reviewing, then it will do the nice job. Uh, they have shown here sub-agent how it looks on the terminal. Then get Cloud Code to generate a commit message in your style, rinse and repeat. Okay, so it can generate a commit message. So this is the workflow. This is, I think, everybody will be doing while they are at workplace doing the development. So follow this is one of the most important part of this course. Next is the context management, and this is also the context management is very important part while we are doing. Normally developers doesn't care about the context, they just query, they just do the prompt and they just want to do the achieve the task. But from you know hallucinations or false positive or maybe the cost perspective, I think we need to be careful what we are putting as a context to the model, to the agent. So every file it reads, every command it runs, every message you send, it all takes space in the context window. Okay. So what is the context window? It's the amount of space cloud can hold in its memory. Okay. Whenever you enter the prompts, cloud creates a files, runs a tool call or receives a tool call results. It's all adding to the context, right? So it's simply, if you see, if as a human being, right, if you are doing something, you have the knowledge and you know what you need, okay, and how, what is your strategy, how you're gonna, it's all context, right? It's all your context, your mind, okay. So that is what it needs as well. But if suppose tomorrow is your exam of something, you know what our exam is about, and you know how you are going to handle it, how you are going to do, and you need to learn content, the knowledge about to clear the exam. Now you have to one book to cover today, but if I give you 10 books, okay, to cover, to get that knowledge, to I give the 10 books of context, then it will be really difficult for your brain to handle in a small time, or efficiently, and to grasp the knowledge, and it will make you confused. Different books have different description of same problem to solution. So I think the similar manner is there. It has a context window, it has limitations, and if your context is better, then it will behave in a good manner, and it will give you better results. Since there is a finite amount of space, it becomes important to optimize how to use it. So they have mentioned here the red amount. This is the context window. The red one is taken, and this is the available one. So what happens when it fills up? Suppose this all is become red. So what it does basically, the context window is automatically compacted. Okay, and compaction summarizes important detail and removes unnecessary tool calls to free up the spaces. Okay, so so tool calls is nothing. It is when you are asking something to agent to do something, it calls tools, right? And even those calls and the results, how you are asking, that is also added to the context. So if there are some tools which are not needed your task, you should not call them. Okay, so that is what it is doing. Maybe it does that, compacts the tools which are not necessary. It will just compact those related context. Note that this process can potentially lose detail. So the compaction, because we are we are bothering the context, right, in compaction process, so it may uh, lose potential detail, right? So it may impact your output. So that is what I think they are saying. Okay, so this is how it will show while the context window is filled up. It will show compacting conversation, and it will show the compact summary. And this is what I was talking about. It can be stored in cloud.md. Okay, this summary, so that further maybe it can be useful or something like that. And also, I think if you guys have worked on MCP servers or something, so this statement is somehow related to that as well, because I have noticed that if you have multiple MCPs installed and you ask something to code assist or AI agent, the MCP servers, if they are already started or not started, they will get started, okay, and they will be put into the context. Okay, so what you need to do is manually select only, or keep the MCP server started which you need for your task. Don't do other MCP servers. So there are commands as well to do the compaction. So you can do slash command on terminal, and it will compact your context. Okay, so this command is you want to free up context space while keeping a memory of what you have previously worked on. And this is also important, you can also clear the context. Okay, suppose you are working on a development from past 2 days, and so what is the use case of this? That is what I'm trying to explain. Suppose you are working on a feature from past 2 days and you are done with that, code is committed, everything is tested, and it's good to go to production, so you are done with this task. Now you receive a task today, that we need to do a development around different uh, functionality of the application, that you don't need that context, right, which you did for earlier thing. Then you can clear this. Okay, so that you can free up the space for the context for the new functionality which you are going to implement. So that is one of the use case to use this command. To check the state of context, there is a command slash compact context. So this command will uh, give the state of your context here, the context which you have done so far. So you will get a high level overview of your context size, the categories taken upon, up the most space, and visual graphics showing the breakdown. If you see here, system prompt, and the tokens, it is mentioning how it here it has taken system tools. Okay, the tools are there, messages, and free space which is available there. So that is what, that kind of detail it will be showing you. This is important if you want to optimize the use of your AI tool, and this is important. And it is good if we get used to uh, of this practice to judge what is the context space as of now and how we can optimize it. Now it is saying when to use which one between the compact and clear. So compact, when you are working on a specific feature and running up against the context limit, but you need to continue. Okay. So if you are working on something and the task is not finished, you are still working, but your context is chalked up, then you can use to contact. And keeping the context relevant to your current feature is important. Okay, you can store the summary of your context in your MD file, and suppose after a month or maybe in few days you want to work on the similar task or similar thing, you can use that as a context. Okay, second is the clear, when you want to start a new feature, okay, entirely new, you don't want to the previous conversation to introduce bias into something new, right? So it will create a bias as well, I mean the space as well. So for things you want cloud to remember across session, put them in your cloud MD file, so it doesn't have to rediscover from this so it doesn't have to be rediscovered things from the scratch. Okay, so this is related to this compact. If you see, keep the context relevant to your current feature is important, that you can do in cloud. Okay, if you don't want to do something from scratch, you can store them in cloud MD file. This is the structure. This is the front matter of cloud. This markdown file. Okay, I think we can do this tips and then we can.
How
Uh,
much is left in this chapter?
uh, what are we? We are on the context, right? So this is code review, MCP. I think it will take 15 minutes more, I guess. So
So then next session we can,
we can do that next session.
and then somebody can take next chapter, right?
Yeah, that's fine. So this is I think within 1 minute we can do this. Tips for saving context. So be specific. So be specific. As I explained, give less thing, uh, less stuff to the AI agent to think around. So that kind of thing they have mentioned. A vague prompt might seem smaller, but uh, it actually costs more context in the long run. So be specific and be correct. So that is what it is saying. Manage your MCP servers. So MCP servers load a lot of